going on USO trips, either in the United States, Germany, and Iraq. You are high priority targets. Hello, and we're back. Two Goats and a Cartoonist. It's been a while, and we're back. The boys, whoever got fixed a few days ago, and they're still a little upset about that, and they haven't said a word to me since. So you'll have to excuse them if they're a little less than social. Although Cheese is being very social right now with my pens. Hey. Anyway, don't look at the scars. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. All right. So while I'm telling some stories here, I'll be drawing as usual. All right. I need my glasses. Oh my goodness. Where's my glasses? Hang on. No, I'm gonna draw without glasses. I don't need them that bad. One of the cool things about being a cartoonist is I've gotten to do a whole lot of really, really cool things over the years, the last 35 years. And one of my favorites is going on USO trips. Going over to military bases in the United States, Germany, overseas in Iraq. I was only there for 10 days. It's not the most hospitable place, and so I really grew to appreciate what our troops were doing over there, because they had to be there for a year, 2 years, sometimes longer at a time. I cannot imagine that. My tour of Iraq was only 10 days. My Marine buddy, Zach, loved to hear it when I say my tour, because he thinks that I'm being an absolute jerk. And I am, but that's why I do it. I'm going to talk a little bit about something that happened on our USO trip when we went to Iraq. There was 10 of us cartoonists. There was myself, Mason Mastroianni. He's going to kill me for mispronouncing his name after all these years. We'll just call him Mason. He draws BC. Ed Steckley and Ray Elma from Mad Magazine. David Coverley from Speed Bump. Jeff Bacon was our leader, does Navy cartoons. Tom Stiglich, who does cartoons in Pennsylvania. Dave Mouter, who does Warner Brothers and stuff. Rob Harrell, one of my favorite artists, does Adam at Home, and he's done a lot of other things, beautiful illustrations of books and stuff. Bill Hines, who does Tank McNamara. Now, they sent us to this USO gala party in Washington, D.C. before they sent us over to the sand. And it was a big party. It was, I think, to soften us up and get us excited before we went off into some place that wasn't quite so glamorous. And Trisha Yearwood was there. Bill Engvall was there. Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon. And the lovely Rose McGowan was there as well. Next morning, they sent us off to Kuwait, and we got on a bus to go to our very first military installation. We were going to go to one in Kuwait there, American military, of course. And the first thing they told us when we got on the bus was, keep in mind, you are high priority targets. We were high value targets. They called us high value targets for the enemy. And so that, of course, made us all feel really good. And we knew that the party was over, and it was all business after that. But it was fantastic. We went to a lot of military bases. After Kuwait, then we flew into Iraq, and we went into a lot of military bases and drew pictures for the troops, and that was really fun. I'm sure over our 10-day period, I think we probably drew 1,000 cartoons for 1,000 troops. The story I'm going to tell, though, it's cartoon related. That's why I thought this would be an appropriate story to tell. So, the story goes, we went to a place... Ow! Jeez, get off there. Hey. There's a place in Iraq now called Flintstone Village. They took us during some of our off time to do some touristy things around Baghdad, which is what you do. And we went to Flintstone Village. Now, Flintstone Village, the story goes, this is the story they told us, that it was built by Saddam Hussein. He had two daughters that were married to two guys who were brothers. Now, they, out of fear of dying during the mid-90s, because Saddam Hussein was not the sweetest father-in-law, evidently, they ran off to Jordan. They skipped to a different country. And while they were there, now they happened to be high in the weapons department of Iraq. So they knew a lot of secrets, let's say. And while they were in Jordan, okay, hang on. I'm going to get rid of these guys. Saddam's son-in-laws ran off to Jordan with the daughters. And the grandkids, I think there were like 6 or 7 grandkids, Saddam's grandkids. And so they were gone for a few months. I think it was 6 months or something like that. And Saddam was really trying to get his daughters back to Iraq, as well as his grandkids and all that. And so he told the sons-in-law, I'll grant you a total pardon. We'll forget any of this happened. And I'll even build the grandkids a replica of the Flintstones Village. The sons eventually relented and they decided, okay, we're gonna bring the whole family back to Iraq. So they did. The two brothers, who were the son-in-laws, brought the wives back and the grandkids, and 3 days later, Saddam had them executed. We got to go visit what is now Flintstone Village. There's even a road sign. I remember it said, the road sign said something like Flintstones Avenue or something like that. And then there's another one, there was a crossroads of Flintstone Avenue and Yellow Brick Road, if I'm remembering seeing it right. I took a photo. It was in incredible disrepair. It was not Disney World. It was not Disney World. I got a feeling it probably never really was. But it was interesting. It was full of graffiti, mostly from Americans that had been there. And of course, as cartoonists, we had no choice but to add to it as well, which we did, and it made it even classier, I'm sure. But yeah, that was a bizarre thing. Not many people have ever heard of it, I'm sure. It's the kind of history that they don't teach you at schools, sadly. And but as cartoonists, we could really appreciate it. It was a nice little homage to the Flintstones. All right, so there we go. As always, it looks a little different when I add the color and, of course, the punchline. Other than that, it's good to go. Thank you again for joining Two Cartoonists. Thank you again for joining Two Goats and a Cartoonist. Crackers and Cheese are still outside because they're misbehaving, but they'll be back soon. We'll do more of these videos now that we have the goats are all taken care of. They went through their stuff. I redesigned the entire studio in here. It might look the same as before, but believe me, I have a lot more room now than I did before. The goats have a lot more room to poop, which I'll have to clean that up as soon as we're done here. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. Get those lips going. Get it. Come on. Reach. There we go. All righty.